Revival and awakening of a desire for God. A returning of a want of God and the things of God. A returning to God and those things that matter to God. A spiritual event that changes the direction of a people, a person, a place. That is what revival is, and that sounds pretty good to me. Before revival, give God all the glory. When we start to make it about Him again, when He starts getting the glory, when Jesus starts getting exalted, when we start making this about God, then we'll have revival. God will show up. A lot of what God doesn't do is because there is no room for Him on the stage of our churches. The more God is exalted, the more He shows up. We are here to exalt Jesus and worship the one true God that lives in heaven. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse number 29. No flesh should glory in His presence. See, the way the spiritual laws and the spiritual kingdom work, it necessitates that you exalt God for Him to show up. Do you want to gain people's sympathy or the divine intervention of God? God's intervention. That's what people need. Too much of what the church does is about herself. And that's got to change. Preparing for revival is a conscious effort to do that in each part of our lives. To exalt Him. Suddenly, it's not about the dilemma that I'm facing in the scenario of my life. Suddenly, it's about God. He's exalted. He comes down and everything changes. You start exalting God, you're not going to have any problems. Because God's going to show up in all His divine power and glory. The way to get victory has never changed. It's always been exalting God. It's amazing what a person can become when they get their lives right in the center of God's hand. And when you exalt Him, that's where you are. And as long as our lives, church, are all about us, God will never show up and our souls will always starve. A self-absorbed people is a lost people. A self-absorbed church is nothing more than religious entertainment. God shows up where He is glorified. God shows up where He's exalted. God shows up where He's magnified. And friends, you need to know He wants to. He longs to. Exalt Him.